Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. We should be live. We should be live. Quiet week of boxing, to be honest. Probably not the best time to go live, in all honesty. This weekend is quiet. Main fight this weekend, of course, is Lucas Brown versus Jarrell Miller. I am actually looking forward to that fight, though, I can't lie. I think that should be a good fight. Lucas Brown versus Jarrell Miller. Who'd have thought it, right? Who'd have thought it that would be fight of the weekend? But I'm here for it. I am here for it. I am picking Miller. Probably late stoppage, maybe points. But you know that fight could go either way. Lucas Brown, way past his best, was never good to begin with, really. But he can punch. He's a big lump. He can punch. Whereas Jarrell Miller's been out of a ring for God knows how long. And he's not looked good on his return. So Lucas Brown versus Jarrell Miller could go anyway. I could see either guy winning it. I am picking Miller, though. I think Miller on points or late stoppage, to be honest. That's what I would say. But it's a good fight for what it is. Listen, it's more morbid curiosity than anything, right? But it's a decent fight. It's a decent fight. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, bro? How you doing? How you doing? But yeah, can you believe it? Can you believe that Jarrell Miller versus Lucas Brown is the best fight this weekend? Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It goes to show what a bad week it is, really. Because aside from that, there's really not anything to look forward to this week. Jean Pascal is actually fighting tonight. He's fighting Michael Eifert, a German dude. Eifert. That fight somehow is a final eliminator, I believe, for the IBF. Michael Eifert's got a record of 11-1. Who's this guy even beaten? I mean, the guy's beat nobody. The guy has beat nobody. Well, he's beat a couple of low-level unbeaten prospects, but he's beat nobody. So you've got Jean Pascal fighting tonight in Canada. Oh, Canada. Yeah, you got Jean Pascal fighting tonight. I mean, aside from that, it's fucking drab. Miller versus Brown in Dubai on Saturday. Gabriel Rosado, basically a middleweight, fighting Gilberto Ramirez at light heavyweight. Bear in mind, Ramirez is basically a cruiserweight. He's huge. He's huge for 175. And they're chucking in Rosado against Ramirez. That is terrible matchmaking. Rosado's been through the meat grinder. He's been beaten up more times than we can count. Terrible matchmaking. Fighter safety, though. Fighter safety. What's up, Dan? How you doing? Yeah, Lucas Brown, Jarrell Miller, fight of the year. Facts. I'm good, bro. I'm good, Dan. Thoughts on the tag team boxing? Honestly, bro, I'm not interested. It's a bit of a fucking farce, as far as I'm concerned. It's a bit of a farce. Yeah, big up, sir. Big up to yourself, Mike. Brown versus Miller is the sort of fight I would scoff at. Sorry. Brown versus Miller is the sort of fight when I was 20 I would have scoffed at. Now in my 30s, I'm all about entertainment. I'm watching this with a few beers. Facts. It's an interesting fight, though. In all seriousness, it should be relatively competitive. We don't really know where either guy's at right now, so there's an element of intrigue there, in my opinion. There's an element of intrigue. Yeah, what's up, Lee? How you doing? Big up to Lee Talks Boxing. Check him out as well. Big up to Joker. Gage A in 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, there's no buzz whatsoever surrounding Anthony Joshua. No buzz whatsoever. Usually when Joshua fights, there's some sort of buzz, but not this time around. Not this time around. I am looking forward to seeing how he looks, to seeing if he has any changes to his style under Derek James. I am intrigued about it, but It's not like I'm marking it in the calendar. Do you know what I mean? Did you see Broner has signed with Don King? No. This week really epitomizes boxing at its peak. Can't wait to see AB in front of 50 people at a leisure centre salute. Are you serious? AB, Adrian Broner, signing with Don King. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Are you... Bro, Adrian Broner, man, 10 years ago, this time 10 years ago, this dude was on people's pound for pound list, being proclaimed the future of boxing, the next Floyd Mayweather, and yet here we are. Big up Dan, yeah, it's a joke at this point. Hate the fact that it's being promoted as a tag team boxing match. I dislike this influencer thing. I don't really care about it, to be honest. I mean, if they stay in their own lane, I think that's how it should be. They should stay in their own lane. Don't mix it up with pro boxing. Yeah, he's a bit fucking media trained. I hope he kind of lets go of that now. Now he's had a few losses. Big up to Carlos Mendoza. Yeah, Broner signed with Don King. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up. I mean, bro, boxing is as crazy as the world in general. Who is there anybody around Adrian Broner who has his best interests at heart, do you think? That's insane. Okay, being reported by Jake Donovan of Boxing Scene. Okay, so it's true. Broner signed with Don King. It's on Ring Magazine. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Man, I remember summer 2012. That's when like Broner really started to get hyped up when he beat DeMarco. That was his best performance, in my opinion, against Antonio DeMarco, I would say. And he looked good in that fight. But, you know, there were signs there immediately that Broner wasn't that guy. The Ponce de Leon fight was the one that really stands out. He lost that fight, got a gift, got outworked. And that was the signs were there with Broner, but people never really caught on until it was too late. People never really caught on. Yeah, no, bro, Lee, I'm telling you, bro, in 2013, 2012, 2013, after the DeMarco fight, there were people with Broner in their top 10. I think he was I'm sure he was Ring Magazine top 5 in 2013. I'm certain of that. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty certain. Yeah, boxing is the craziest sport in the world. Nothing compares to the absurdity and unpredictability facts. The only top 5 fighter I think AJ can beat is Wilder. Who is the top 5 at heavyweight? Fury, Usyk, AJ himself, Wilder, and Joyce, I would say. For me, AJ Wilder is 50-50. You might be right. You might be right in all seriousness. If AJ can't hurt Joyce early, I think he loses. If AJ can't get to Joyce early, he loses, in my opinion. I think he loses. And obviously, as we know, Joe Joyce has a great chin. There's a picture of Don King giving Adrian Broner 100k in advance. I wonder how long that money's going to last. Facts. And what strings are attached. What strings are attached? Who knows? Yeah, Joyce is probably the 5th best heavyweight right now, I would say. Having said that, Joyce is very good. To me, Joyce may be the most dangerous contender outside. You know, obviously not the champions, but Joyce might be the most dangerous contender right now. Is there any other sport where Don King would still be a thing? Dude is a straight up psycho and still robbing people, apparently. Yeah, he struck my channel as well, a couple of years ago when I covered the Bermain Stavern Trevor Bryan fight. Yeah, man, Don King's still at it, bro. Listen, at this point in time, I don't feel sorry for any fighter who signs with Don King and gets robbed. There's enough subject matter out there for fighters to do their own research at this point in time. You know, ask around in boxing, see what people think of Don King. They're going to advise you not to sign with this guy, which begs the question, who is around Adrian Broner? Does anybody close to him have his best interests at heart? You tell me. Yeah, I mean, bro, even Joe Joyce's tune-up fights, aka Zili Zhang, that's better than most of Wilder's title defenses. Big up to Joe Joyce. I don't think he would either right now, Nabzila. Not in this state. Not in this state. I'm not convinced Joyce can take a flush left hook or uppercut on the chin from AJ. I think he could probably take the shots, but how many is the question. It's how many AJ lands on him, I think, is more the point there. Because you can't take too many of those shots from AJ. I know AJ right now, his stock is low, but he's a very good fighter still, and he carries power. And once he hurts you, he can put his shots together. AB was definitely top 5, Reyes. He was definitely top 5. What's up, Bruce? How you doing? Yeah, brother, I'm doing great. Big say so. I'm doing great, man. Don King and AB is so funny. I mean, shit. Don did promote the WBA heavyweight title in the US on pay-per-view recently. Yeah, the regular title, no less. Insane. Broner gave that 800K straight to a lawyer as an overdue payment. Probably still owes millions in legal fees. Yeah. Again, Broner, I mean, I think Broner's one of those cases when he was hot, he had all of these people around him, leeching off him, you know, draining his money, that sort of thing. You know, big, you know, typical vultures when somebody's hot. Now somebody is down, as Broner is. This is the result of that. He's desperate, signing with Don King. Again, if anybody is around Adrian Broner, who cares for him? Why? Surely they had to have talked him out of this. Insane. Absolutely insane. AB was ranked number 6 in the Ring magazine in 2012. Insane, bruv. Insane. Yeah, like that right hand Parker landed. If AJ lands that right hand, I'm not sure he takes it. That's why it's a good fight for me, Lee, because if AJ can't hurt Joyce, if he walks through that, if he gets past the first 5-6 rounds, AJ's in big trouble. But very good question, Big Say So. Gun to my head. If I had a gun to my head, I would pick Fury on points. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. God bless Nordic. How you doing, my brother? I'm doing good, Felipe. How about yourself, man? How about yourself? Joyce looks slow on TV, but his punches are straight and accurate. Personally, I feel like he breaks AJ and Wilder right now. There's every possibility. There's every possibility. One thing about Joyce that isn't slow, though, are his feet. Joe Joyce covers distance extremely well, both moving forwards and going backwards. His feet are quite quick. He moves around that ring really well for a big dude. Yeah, he was. He was a hype job. Yeah, Nordic's videos on you know, culture, kind of what's going on in the world right now, I always find very entertaining. Personally, I find myself nodding a lot. Nodding in agreement. Billum Smith's talking about having a title fight in the summer, which could be against Gulamarian. I think Gulamarian wins, Jiho, but Chris Billum Smith makes it a really fun fight. I think that's a good fight. I heard about that. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. I'll take Gulamarian, though. I think he'll outwork Chris Billum Smith, maybe stop him late. Yeah, Jean Pascal's fighting tonight. Yeah, he's fighting Michael Eifert, a German dude. Yeah, German guy, 11-1. Somehow an IBF eliminator, from what I understand. What's up, Focus on Creativity? Wishing you the best, bro. I really wish you went in on Fury. He's breeding an entire degenerate culture to be toxic and full of themselves. I've got something planned on Fury, but I want to hold fire. I want to hold fire. First and foremost, I need to see how this Tyson Fury Usyk situation plays out. But I've called Tyson Fury for what he is many times. To me, Tyson Fury is the mascot for a generation full of fuck ups. Alleviate responsibility, blame emotions and mental health for your problems, and you know, to alleviate himself of responsibility. We see people do that in society now. Tyson Fury is the mascot for a generation full of fuck ups. You know, but my feelings, that's why I said what I said, or that's why I did what I did. Not good enough, you know. Sometimes, fuck how you feel. You got to do what's right. You got to do what you got to do. And Fury doesn't preach that message. He doesn't preach accountability. This is the heavyweight champion of the world, supposedly the baddest man on the planet. Yet mentally, this guy crumbles more than an apple crumble. How can I relate? I can't relate to a guy like that at all. Yeah, he was, and he was a weight bully early on as well. Nordic. You think Usyk wins? I would love Usyk to win. To tell you the truth, I would love Usyk to win, but I don't know. Joyce is a plodder. Looks terrible, but very effective. I wouldn't call him a plodder though. Just in terms of his feet, I wouldn't call him a plodder. He cuts the ring off very effectively. It's not like he follows guys around. He can move backwards as well. I wouldn't call him a plodder. I wouldn't. I know what I kind of know where you're coming from in regards to the hands and the reaction speed, but I wouldn't call him a plodder personally. Did you see that the WBC have moved Gennady Golovkin to #1 in the WBC rankings? Yeah, because he vacated his titles, so he can now be ranked within the WBC. I'm past caring about Golovkin at this stage. I think he should retire. I felt he sold out against Canelo in that third fight. No interest in seeing Golovkin again. Pissed on his legacy, as far as I'm concerned. Was what it was. I'm not interested really in Golovkin right now. If he signs a fight tomorrow, you know, against somebody like Munguia or somebody of that ilk, I'll be interested then. But as of right now, I could care less about Golovkin, whether he continues or retires, to tell you the truth. Yeah, Goulamarian is good. Goulamarian's good, maintains a good work rate as well. That may, when it comes to, yeah, that's a good way to be, Nordic. I make videos kind of impulsively these days, just upload whenever I feel like it, to be honest. That's probably the way to be. Pascal looking to be the oldest world champion of all time, maybe. Yeah, listen, man, drugs aside, I know people are going to cry about that, but I do respect Pascal as a fighter. I can't deny the guy's toughness. The guy's for everybody. The guy's for everybody. And that guy gets zero respect. Like, nobody talks about Pascal like that. Even before the drugs, nobody talks about Pascal like that. He fought everybody. Kovalev, Bivol, Marcus Brown, Bernard Hopkins, Chad Dawson, Adrian Dianaku. He fought everybody, Jean Pascal. Kovalev twice, actually. He fought everybody. What's up, Intangible? How you doing, bro? Yeah, Fury's a proper fighting man. He just has feelings. Yeah, exactly. Fury beats Usyk by decision, if it even happens. I think that's the safe bet, and that's what I'd probably go with. Get out of here, Ralph. A big up to Apology Man. You know who it is, and you know where I am. Apology, I've not heard you on like BDA recently. What's been cracking? What's been cracking, bro? No. So if you No, you can get around it. You can get around it. So I don't pay for I don't pay for a TV license. It's basically just for the BBC. I don't pay for a TV license. I don't watch TV genuinely, and if I had a TV, I wouldn't pay for it then. When I first moved out at 18, I got rid of my TV 2 years ago. So I was watching TV without a license for 8 years. I'm not paying that shit. But yeah, technically, if you watch live TV, you need to get a TV license. But it's easy to get around. It's embarrassing that so many people pay it, to be honest. It's a fucking extortion. Absolute extortion. I agree, Intangible, in regards to Fulton. I think Fulton sticks around. He's awkward. He's tricky. I think he will fight in a way off at stages. But Fulton's defense is leaky. I don't feel like he can maintain a perfect defense for 12 rounds. He fights defensively well in spots, but in other instances he gets tagged up. So I don't know. One thing about Fulton I've noticed is he can't transition from defense to offense or offense to defense that well, as slick as he looks. He may do. I hope you're right, Big Sace, though. I hope you're right. He did. I wouldn't say he was worse than Quillian, to be honest. As for Martinez, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure. I wouldn't go that far personally. Yeah, I like Pascal, fun fighter in great fights. I agree. Always comes to bring it. What's up, Larry? What's up, Larry? How you doing, bro? Yeah, Kovalev beat the dog shit out of Pascal, especially that second fight. First fight, Kovalev was well in control, but Pascal had his moments. Second fight was a massacre. Yeah, but yeah, that would be a good fight. That would be a good fight. Joe Smith versus Pascal. That would be a fun fight. Andrew Kane versus Baluta. Yeah, Baluta. He's been around for a while now. Gave Conlon a decent fight a couple of years ago. Good step up, yeah. He's one of those guys to where if you're not at a certain level, he'll expose you. I think Andrew Kane is good enough, though. Andrew Kane looks decent to me. I'm not saying he's going to be world class, but he looks solid. Blows me away how long it took people to see through Fury's bullshit. I agree. Yeah, basically. So when it comes to TV licenses, you can state that you don't require one. That's what I did. You don't have to do that, but I did that anyway. I don't want people knocking at my door. And yeah, sometimes they'll send over people to check whether you've got a TV or not. That's how bad it is, bro. And yeah, don't answer the door to them. That's some communist socialist shit. Wow, yeah, exactly, bro. It's insane. It was a wrong thing to do, apology. One thing I'd advise people here, if you're like 17, 18, 19, you're living at home, I wouldn't, unless your home situation is untenable, don't do it. Don't move out straight away, especially now. Save up money, build your bank account. Like if you're moving out with less than, I don't know, just save up, build your bank account, working goals, that don't move out straight away because it's hard. It's very hard. That's what I'll say. Just keep saving, keep working, doing your thing. Yeah, the old pensioners are still traumatized by the old Jimmy Savile pay your license or else adverts, and the ones with the TV signal detector vans. Yeah, they don't even exist. These TV fucking signal detectors. Insane. Who should Florian Marku fight next? Someone like Tyrone McKenna. I think that's ideal. Who would I favour out of a Coley or a Pataya? I think Opataya is a better boxer. A Coley is more physically robust, hits harder. I would say. It depends on where that fight is. In the UK at Coley, in Australia, maybe a Pattaya. 16, fucking hell. I lived with my nan until I was 21. I think I moved out when I was 20. Sorry. Yeah, I lived with my nan until I was 21. I think then I moved in with my girlfriend. Yeah, exactly. Apology. Great fight, Lee. Two aggressive guys who carry power. Kolmatov has much better fundamentals, better technique. He's tighter in his approach. It's whether he can take those shots, because Thomas Patrick Ward was tagging him. I think that fight is going to come down to how tough he is. If he's as tough as Lara, he will win. If he's not, he will lose. Honestly, bro, first and foremost, you need to get an idea in regards to what you're going to be spending monthly. So if you're renting, try and come up with like a predicted budget, and then add like a couple of £100 onto it, because what you predict and what is reality usually are two different things. So predict a budget for what you think you'll be spending per month when you move out. Add a couple of £100 to it per month. So let's say you calculate it as 1,500, 1,400, 1,500. Add 200 to it for a start. After that, you're gonna when you move out, you're gonna pay a deposit. I guess that could be 2 months rent, worth of 2 months, maybe 2 months rent. So there's a couple of K gone right away. Honestly, when you move out, I'd be looking at least 10K in your account, at least. Because if you lose a job or something like that, you're not immediately at risk of like getting evicted or anything like that. When I moved out, I basically had enough for a deposit. That's pretty much it. And it was hard. It was fucking hard. But yeah, I mean, ideally, if I was you, bro, I'd want, when it's all said and done, you've paid your deposit, you've purchased, you got some shit for your apartment or wherever you're going, I'd want 10K in my bank after that at least. At least, just to give you a bit of peace of mind. And especially in this day and age, when times are really tough. That's what I'd be looking at. One thing I wish I did when I was younger is learn to drive. I'm 29 and still haven't done it. It's worth it. It's worth it, Nordic. It's worth it. It's one of those things to, like, when you learn to drive, when you pass, and when you get your first car, you realize like how much of like an advantage it is. It opens new horizons, just in life in general. Whether that be social or career wise, having a car is really beneficial. It's one of those things that I take for granted. It's one of those things you quickly take it for granted, though. When I was driving, so I passed my test at 19. I'm 28 now. I was having lessons for maybe a year. So I started to learn at 18. I may have even been 17. But yeah, regardless, this was 2012, 2013 when I started to learn to drive. 2013 I passed. I was paying £22 an hour. So 10 years ago, I was paying £22 an hour. I remember. Because my driving instructor was a proper lad. I'm certain sometimes he was hungover as well. Certain. But he was a proper lad. Big dude, like a guy from up north. Real cool dude. Real good teacher. Real good teacher. I failed How many did I fail? I failed 4 driving tests. First one, I got robbed. I should have passed it. Absolute robbery. I don't even. I'm certain that cunt failed me for purpose because of quotas. Second test, I completely bottled it. Like, just fell to bits. Like, fell under pressure. Third test, I forgot I had a test. I was hungover. This was like 18, 19 years old. I was doing all sorts of crazy shit. Missed my third test, failed that. And fourth test, I passed, despite hitting the curb when I had to do when I parked. Yeah, 17 here is when you can start learning to drive. So many jobs now actually require driving licenses. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it was good fun when I first started to learn, when I first was able to drive. When I first started to drive, when I got my first car, that's when I rinsed like I don't think Tinder was around back then. It was Plenty of Fish. And in my 10, like I always do a 10-mile radius when I was on dating sites. And when I got my first car, I must have had like 3 girls on the go at once. Just because like the world was my oyster. I was super excited. I had a car, I could do what I want. I had like 3 girls on the go at once. And that was stressful. That was stressful. I felt like such a fucking lad. I felt like such a lad. I couldn't do that now. I couldn't do that now. Not only is it too stressful, but I don't think that would ever work out again. I just think I got so lucky. I got so lucky. I got absolute robbery, yeah. I got robbed on my first test too. All I did was exit a roundabout on the right lane instead of a left. I was boiling. Yeah, man. Sometimes it's weird though. Sometimes they may be generous and they'll pass you on something like that. Because that's what happened in my last test for one I passed. I hit the curb when I was parking. And I'm sure that's a fail. That can be deemed as a fail. But he passed me. Yeah, someone gave the instructor the brown envelope the day before. Facts. Got robbed. Yeah, got robbed fucking Howard Foster style. I was so fuming as well. I was so fuming. But yeah, 2013. I think I was 19 when I passed. Yeah, I was 19. But yeah, end of 2013, start of 2014, I went on a fucking mad one. I'm surprised I never like contracted AIDS or got someone pregnant, you know? Hell of a time though, hell of a time. Yeah, man, Plenty of Fish. But yeah, Plenty of Fish was the site back then. I don't think Tinder was around. I don't recall it being around back then. I've never used Tinder. I've never used that shit. I stay way away from fucking dating sites these days. Unless I'm desperate. Yeah, the Matrix wanted me off a road. Probably a good idea as well, Jiho. It's probably a good idea. Oh yeah, I wonder if the instructor was a judge from Germany. Germany. Yeah. Mate. It's really nerve-wracking though. It's crazy. Like considering now, like how I don't think when I'm driving, I just drive. But like driving tests, man, like the nerves for doing something so simple. It's insane. That's really what holds you back when you're on your test is nerves. Because if you've been put forward to your test, you're obviously good enough to pass. You know what you're doing. It's just nerves on the day. That's all you've got to contend with. That's all you've got to contend with on the day is nerves. Have I ever been with a married woman? Not that I know of. A married woman's hit on me before, but not that I know of. I've been with someone's girlfriend, but I knew that after the fact. It's not like I knew that and then went there anyway. I knew that after the fact. That's a long story in itself. So basically, that was my mate's wedding. Not my mate's wedding, but my mate's mum's wedding to his stepdad, and that was up north, and it was a weekend thing. So we was up there for a weekend, and I met this girl who was there, who was at the wedding. I met her. Not going to say her name, but we got it on for like the whole weekend. Got her contacts. Thought, fucking hell, this is going to go somewhere. Not even go somewhere, but like it could be a fling, like kind of thing. Bit of action, a link, so to speak. When we got home, text her, no reply. Text her, no reply. Ask my friend about her. And apparently, I know she's got a boyfriend, this, that, and the other. Like proper slut. Proper slut. But it is what it is. Imagine that. What a fucking hoe. I never knew that beforehand either. I thought she was just gagging for it, obviously. That's what you got to contend with, man. That's why I still have the same philosophy I had when I was fucking 18, 19, just fuck around. If the perfect one falls in my lap, then so be it. But like I'm not searching for it. If I get laid now and again, that's good enough for me right now when I'm working on other things. There are other things right now that are taking priority. You know, getting my own shit sorted, trying to sort my finances, build some cash. I'd love to get to the point to where I could buy a property, cash, no mortgage. That's what I'm trying to work towards. It's unrealistic as fuck, but it's possible at the same time. It's possible. It's possible, but very hard. Very hard. But yeah, that's what I'm concentrating on. Because I don't particularly want a mortgage, to be honest with you. Del, sounds like you're coping. Facts. Cope. Oh, mate. But yeah, these hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. And that sort of thing disgusts me anyway. It just kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. It pissed me off, like, that she had a boyfriend, and I didn't even, like, I wasn't with her. It just pissed me off that she would do that. That she's such a hoe, she would do that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm sure he'll find that out one way or the other. Probably has found it out. That was years ago. That was years ago at this point. But yeah, why are we talking about my sex life or lack thereof right now? Why are we talking about that? You fucking degenerates. Absolute degenerates. Yeah, her boyfriend might have turned out to be a double hard, vengeful psycho. Yeah, facts. Facts. I'm not looking to fight. I am not looking to fight. There was another girl in a place called Harlow as well. And I met her online and she had a boyfriend. Again, I never knew until after the fact. But because I stalked her on Facebook because she was on a dating site. And I met her, you know, bish, bash, bosh, all that shit. Saw her a couple of times, and Harlow's quite a long way from me. It's like, I want to say it's probably like an hour or so's drive. So I met her a few times, done the business. We never really discussed anything like further. We just kind of hooking up. And I snooped on her Facebook one day, and there you have it. I saw that she had a boyfriend. Why would you do that, though? Why would you do that and not make your profile private? Why would you do that and not make your profile private? It makes no sense. But she was a hoe as well. Yeah, Essex. Yeah, Essex. And I don't like Essex at the best of times. She was a girl. I think it was the other stream I was talking about this. So she came to mine once. The other times I went to her. She came to mine once, and she was one of those bitches with fake tan. And she stayed the night. And bro, like, there was her outline on the bed in like brown fake tan. It's fucking disgusting. I had white bed sheets. It's disgusting. Something like something like cheating could turn a man into a killer. Yeah, exactly. Apology. And sometimes, man, these hoes are so devious that the person they're cheating with doesn't even know they have a boyfriend. That does happen. It's happened to me twice. And she could have got me killed. Was she on the bigger side, or was your taste not as refined back then? No, she wasn't big. She wasn't big. She wasn't big. I noticed when I used Facebook that a lot of girls who have boyfriends don't show it on their profiles, like they were looking to play the field and keep their options open. Yeah, that's insane, right? Absolutely insane. It does, yeah. Like if you're gonna get a tan, just go use a sunbed. That still looks bad, but at least it's at least it's not chemicals and shit. I'm in uni now, man, and some of the body counts these girls have are ridiculous. Doesn't bear thinking about. Yeah, it's grim, man. It's grim. Just get out in the sun. Get out in the sun. Fake tan costs a lot more for girls. Those girls. She wasn't, bro. She wasn't. She wasn't. I don't even know where this fucking rumor come from. I guarantee it was like Mark who started it. I'm trying to ascertain to where this myth was born. I'm trying to ascertain to where this myth was born. It's like the city of Atlantis. Like people are convinced it's real, but it's not. Or maybe Atlantis is real, but my love of fat girls isn't real. Yeah, I like pale girls. Yeah, and now these days, bro, another reason I don't really fuck with dating apps now is the whole filter phenomenon. Like, you just don't know what you're talking to these days. You don't know what you're talking to. She could be a fucking pig, but a filter can do a lot of work. A filter can do a lot of work. I could be talking to like Corella Deville, like vile looking bitch, but the filters, man. Like I know a girl. She's not. I don't like see her or anything like that, but I know a girl who like she's like without makeup. She's got a good body, but without makeup, she's a 5. She's got like that athletic body, but without makeup, I'm not being like harsh. She's a 5. I've seen her with a filter, and she looks like a solid 8.5. Like filters are crazy. Yeah, I don't like tattoos on women. I'm not a big fan, to be honest. I'm not a big fan. Some people don't like tattoos full stop. I've always seen tattoos as I've not got a problem with tattoos in a sense. I see them as a masculine thing, personally, you know. I think there's such a thing as you can get tasteful tattoos, but most people's sense of style is pretty poor. Most of these people look like ghouls with tattoos. I'll be real. Yeah, he's AWOL. I'm sure he'll be back. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, there's makeup, but the thing is though, there's makeup and makeup. You know who's caked in it and who just has like a slight brush of foundation, whatever, or that shit they use to make their cheeks more blush, I guess. I don't know what fucking makeup is. There's a lot of them about, Mike. There's a lot of them about. Fucking disgusting creatures. Yeah. Again, for me, like, they're a masculine thing. But on a girl, nah, fuck that. What's even worse is men, especially red pill men, they'll boast about cheating with another man's girl. What happened to helping men exactly? Yeah. They preach about how important the nuclear family. They preach about how important the nuclear family is. They'll say that in their videos. They'll say that in their, in what they believe. But everything they preach promotes destroying the nuclear family. Andrew Tate's the perfect example of that. The perfect example. He'll complain about how the government are trying to split up families. Things of that nature, single motherhood being encouraged by the welfare system, which I agree with. I think he's right, but like he preaches acts in which, once again, just support the destruction of a nuclear family. My girlfriend hardly ever wears makeup at all. I think she realised I prefer it that way. Most chicks can't even leave the house without it. Yeah, some chicks are crazy without makeup. I'm the same though, Nordic, because a girl who's confident enough to wear like minimal makeup or no makeup in public, she's comfortable. She's comfortable within her own skin, and that in itself is attractive. For me, at least. Yeah, facts. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. Same with these trad conservative women on social media who are unmarried and hang around with trannies. That's why the right, man, like people need to stop idolizing these political right wing figures, man. Most of these people are full of shit and are inconsistent in regards to their worldviews. They'll preach one thing, they'll say this is wrong with society, that is wrong with society, and yet in a different way they'll be contributing to that. And again, like I said, Andrew Tate is the perfect example. He is the perfect example of that, and I cannot see why people can't see that. It makes me wonder, like, I don't know. I don't know. I think for most people, the political left-right paradigm is they view it through the lens of like a sports game, my team v your team. It's not necessarily about policies to make life better, make society better. It's whether their team wins or not, essentially. That's all they're really concerned about. And you see that by the way in which such people on both sides of the political spectrum, they will use tragedies to boost their own political narratives. So, for example, like the left will use school shootings as a way to push their own political ideas. They'll use instances such as that to like for example gun control, things of that nature. They'll never talk about the victims or let them or just acknowledge the tragedy that it was. They'll use the victims to push an ideology, and the right do the exact same thing. Look at that Club Q shooting in America when that person shot up that gay bar. The right said nothing about it. All of a sudden, he comes out as what? What's that fucking phrase? What's that gender phrase? Gender fluid? non-binary. So he comes out as non-binary. Then the right use it as a way to attack the left. None of these people care about like the people who are getting killed or anything like that. Russia Ukraine's another perfect example. I see people unironically say, "Oh, Russia are invading Ukraine due to denazification." Yeah, okay, cool. By sending in the Wagner group, who are literally like have neo-Nazi ties. Okay, most of these people are dumb. Like the left and right are the exact same thing. They share the exact same pathology. They don't care about making the world better. They just want to win. That's all they're really concerned about. That's all they're really concerned about. Yeah, the right has about as many simps as the left. Yeah, that's why I reject it. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, the Andrew Tate defenders in my comments wind me up. Yeah, facts. Just imagine like the psychology behind that, calling somebody else top G. That's so weird. Calling another man that is so weird. The only man I idolize in that way is my dad. But again, you know, we live in an age now where a lot of kids are fatherless, or the fathers that they do have are limp-wristed and weak. So is there any wonder to why people look up to him? Yeah, the imperfections is actually what I find attractive, not some creature with fake hair, someone else's hair, bro, looking like an Oompa Loompa with those fake long nails. Yeah, facts. Would rather DIY, to be honest. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You're always going to go through your rough times, but once you're through that, that's what I guess that's like the cement that makes the relationship stronger. Like the cement between the bricks, what you overcome, you build on that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no doubt, Yimmy, no doubt. I ignore all this shit now, bro. Like I do what I do on my other channel, which is hard enough. But aside from that, I totally ignore mainstream media. I totally ignore it. I see what I see on my Twitter feed and things like that. I see my YouTube feed. Like I know what's going on roughly, but I ignore all this shit, bro. I get what you're saying though, like, and again, like that's I always wrestle with my other channel. Is there any value in regards to what I'm doing? Is it just titillating death? Those questions, those questions occur to me all the time. But then I see the average person's reaction to such events, and they're more. I watch I've seen what I've seen, but they come across more desensitized than me. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you know those Americans who got killed in Mexico by the Gulf cartel. So they kidnapped 4 Americans and killed 2. And nobody knows the reasoning behind it. There's who knows. People are saying they went there due to like medical procedures, to get medical procedures. Who knows? Could have been a drug deal gone wrong. Who the fuck knows? But they were kidnapped and 2 were killed. Now, for cartels, obviously, killing American citizens is bad for business. So what happened was 2 were released and obviously 2 were killed. The cartel then captured the guys who did it and offered them to the United States. They beat them up, put them in zip ties, left them on the streets for America to claim, stating that we don't kill innocent people, we don't kill American citizens, this was a mistake, we weren't responsible. The people who did it acted alone. And I saw people on Twitter say, oh, Mexican drug cartels they show more decency and they atone for their mistakes more than American police do. What a terrible take. You're taking a tragic event like that in order to push some totally unrelated political narrative. Insane how people's attitude towards death, it's not about the people who die, it's about just scoring points. So yeah, I mean, I question myself in regards to the other channel, but I think a lot of people in society need to question themselves in regards to how they handle such events. There you go. I'm great, Lack. I'm great. We're talking absolute nonsense right now, bruv. Some do, yeah. There's no doubt. Apologies. Some are very fishy. Some are very fishy, no doubt. Yeah, that story. It was some good PR for the cartels. A little bit too good, if you ask me. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Imagine that being somebody's take. Mexican cartels are more noble than the American police. Insane. That was a leading narrative on Twitter. You see what those cartels do to people, innocent people as well. It's not just criminals killing criminals. They kill so many innocent people, but apparently they're better than American police. Look at the numbers. They pale in comparison, but you know, it's insane. They kill kids, they kill women. Insane. Yeah, YouTube hides so many comments now. They hide so many comments. On my other channel, it's funny you say that. I've seen, I think maybe on only 2 or 3 occasions, but I've had Google moderators in the chat. Like a comment is removed, and then it will say, you know, when a comment's removed, it will show the mod who removed it. So let's say Nordic's a mod, and he removes apologies comment. It will say Nordic removed this comment. I saw that in my other channel, and it said Google moderator removed this comment. It's insane. I don't know much about Kosovo, to be fair, Albanian boxer. I don't know much about it. I know there's tension in Kosovo, I believe, with Serbia, right? But yeah, the world right now is in it's in a weird spot. The last sort of 6-7 years, to me, just it's been crazy. It's really been 2016 onwards. It feels like the world has been so up and down. So up and down. In the West in particular, we are such a divided... We are so divided right now across the board. If we can be... We are divided on almost everything as a society. And a lot of people are harboring resentment. And resentment is that's an incredibly deadly force. Some of the world's greatest atrocities, they stem from resentment. There's a boogeyman or a group of people who are the boogeymen, and they will be dealt with. You look at Nazi Germany, for example. You look at the Russian Revolution, or and people are going to get butchered and massacred. We're in a crazy position right now, in my opinion, but there's always hope. There's always hope. I pray things get better, and I believe they will in our life or the next, but who knows? Yeah, your channel is too big for Google not to be watching it very closely, I would imagine. It's disturbing how they have so much control over our content, yeah. So my videos now, when I premiere the videos, they used to show up, when you put a video on Premiere, it will show up in somebody's feed before it goes live. When I premiere videos now, it doesn't show up in the YouTube feed. It only shows up exactly when it goes live. Yeah. Yeah, go on the live chat option instead of a top chat option if you're not already. Yeah, that can help. Yeah, 2016 was like a shift to a parallel universe. Could you imagine all of this in 2010, for example? It's strange. Yeah, it is strange. I just wonder where this is all going to head. That's what I wonder. I wonder where this is all going to head. Yeah, exactly. 2016 was the turning point. People divided over absolute BS. People out here believing criminals in charge care about their health, and we are the conspiracy theorists. Yeah. I mean, look at America, for example, right? You have to pay for everything in America in regards to healthcare, and all of a sudden they're giving you free fuck knows how many vaccines. Both of my channels are shadow banned and have been for years. Yeah, sometimes your videos are crazy, Nordic, because sometimes you'll upload videos and I'll get them all in my sub feed. So let's say you upload 5 videos in 1 week. There'll be some weeks where I'll get all of your videos, or like there'll be number of your videos I get in a row in my sub box, but then sometimes they won't appear. Same with Fight Film on his other channel, Carnival. Those videos never appear in my sub box. The Fight Film ones do, but not the Carnival ones. So I have to check every now and again whether he's uploaded. Yeah, it's a crock of shit. It was a crock of shit, wasn't it? I do wonder whether he was just an agent of chaos. Once again, pushing this divide in society even more. I do wonder whether he was just an agent of chaos. Whether he knew it or not, who knows? But I'd say that's why he was installed. I would say that's why he was installed as president, just to be an agent of chaos. And then you saw the fallout of the first election in 2016, Russian interference, again, another narrative to stoke the divide. 2020 happened. They stole the election again. Another narrative to push that divide. Yeah, the Conservative Party in the UK changed the law to accommodate many leftist values. In fact, they are more far left than the Labour Party was a few years ago. Yeah, that's what always makes me laugh about the UK, like political people on Twitter acting like there is a right-wing party in the UK. There isn't. What about the Conservative Party are right-wing? Certainly not their social politics. That's for damn sure. And even fiscally, they again. Campbell Hatton, the second coming of Ali, facts. No doubt. I make you right there. I make you right. Plot twist, all elections are fake, I think. How would we know if they weren't? You know what I'm saying? I don't pay attention to that sort of thing, general elections, things like that. I don't pay attention. I've never voted. That's a blast from the past. BNP, fucking hell. That was what was his name? Nick Griffin, right? Mm. My favorite fighter right now, Better Biev, Inoue, Usyk, Subriel Matias. I say Prograis is in there. They're my go-to fighters. There's more, but I like primarily I like aggressive fighters. Usyk's a bit of an exception. He can be aggressive. He's the only exception. Yeah, it's a waste of time, bro. It just what really winds me up is it winds me up when I hear people talk about this at work. Like how they're much older than me, like 40, 45, 50, and they'll talk about politics like their vote matters and like life will be so much better under the opposition political party. There's no opposition in the UK. There's none. Me personally, when it comes to Tommy Robinson, I think Tommy Robinson was the perfect. He was an agent of the state, in my opinion. Tommy Robinson really was popping off during the war on terror and the fake war on terror, or largely fake war on terror. Tommy Robinson was primarily active during those years, and he was perfect to gain support for such a war. Many in the working class fell for Tommy Robinson. Yeah, and now the war on terror is quickly forgotten about. Where's Tommy Robinson? Where is he? Where's Tommy Robinson? For me, Tommy Robinson was just a plant to push the war on terror, to gain support for it. Reel him out when there's a terrorist attack. Get people riled up. Support such foreign intervention. That's it, really. Where's he now? And whether he was when it comes to shills or agent provocateurs, I use that term too loosely, shill. Shill could mean, when I shouldn't really always say shill, because shill to me, when I think of a shill, they directly work for the government. But agent provocateur, shill, I mean, it could mean a whole host of things, like just a useful idiot. That's what I think Tommy Robinson probably was, a useful idiot. I think he was probably genuine in regards to what he was saying he believed, but he was propped up by the establishment. He was propped up. Yeah. That's insane. Here's an interesting point. YouTube changed their terms of service to make it bannable to say that any election has ever been compromised in American history, so even during the Civil War and before. I mean, that in itself is like a complete rejection of reality. Like, even, I'm not even gonna. So in an election where 100+ million people probably vote, there's not any vote tampering. That's totally irrational on YouTube's behalf. Yeah, never voted myself either. I do value it to a certain extent, but I have such contempt for the powers that be and the people who believe in them at this point. They don't deserve our time. Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, Nordic. Yeah, Tommy Robinson is an agent provocateur and a walking, talking advert for the British military, a fraud and a fool. I'll have to watch that, Nordic, see what he said about Tommy. He did, yeah, he did. He did, yeah. He's been to Israel a few times. Yeah, Tommy was more of an asset than an agent. He was being indirect. Sorry, he was indirectly being controlled. Most likely, yeah. He was being propped up. He was being propped up. Yeah, beginning with an I, ending with an L. That term in itself has gotten way out of hand. The A word. So what if I criticize the IDF for butchering kids, murdering kids? Is that being anti-Semitic? Crazy, crazy. It makes you wonder who's genuine, like in in that sort of in the so-called, I don't know, I don't want to say truther movements, but these people who are so-called calling out the establishment and whatnot and this, that, and the other. I do wonder how many are genuine. I don't think there's as many direct shills as we think there is, like people who are actually government workers, government bots. I don't think there's as many as them as maybe we probably think there is, but these guys are propped up to a certain degree because they're useful to a current agenda. I would really say that's all it is, because if they, what I'm saying, if they want to be banned, if they want them banned, they will just ban them. Piers Morgan. Now I'm convinced when it comes to, I was saying about people directly in cahoots with like the establishment or you know uh, MI5, MI6. I'm convinced Piers Morgan is absolutely convinced of it. That guy's he's some sort of agent for the special forces. I swear to God. Check out A Call for an Uprising. That guy has some mind blowing content, and I believe he's absolutely genuine. Is it on YouTube? A Call for Uprising. How's he not banned yet? Oh, he's not uploaded for a while. He's only just come back. I'll check him out. I'll check him out. Personally, I don't trust a single person who is involved in the so-called alt far right conspiracy movement or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Yeah, Piers Morgan is insidious in my opinion, but he's got his fans. He's got his fans. Okay, he's had many different channels banned. He was shadow banned and demonetized, and he tried on other platforms. He does what he can to reach new audiences. Okay, cool. Rumble seems to be a good place right now. Whether it remains that way is another matter. Whether it remains that way is another matter. But Rumble so far, I've looked at Rumble. I've searched certain videos that I know were banned from YouTube. I won't mention them, but they're on Rumble. They are on Rumble. So maybe, I think Rumble right now appears to be pretty legit, or as legit as it can be. How long it stays that way, I don't know. Like back in the day, like in 2010, 2009, 2010, 2011, if you typed in 9/11 on YouTube, the first thing to come up, because the algorithms back then were far more organic, the first things that would come up would be conspiracy videos or like alternative theories, videos discussing the discrepancies of that day. Not even just crazy outright conspiracy theorist videos, but like genuine questions that need answering. These videos would pop up. Type in 9/11 now, CNN, Sky News, Fox News, CNBC, or some normie like fucking channels that are probably sponsored by big tech and big corporations. Oh, really? The problem with Rumble is that they can delete your channel without a reason or a warning. In that way, they are worse than YouTube. Okay. I never knew that. See, I don't know much about Rumble, but I know there's videos on there that are definitely not on YouTube. And if you type in, so let's go on, I'm going to go on Rumble right now. Let's see what happens when I type in 9/11. 9/11. Yeah, there are conspiracy theory videos. So-called conspiracy theory videos. Who knows? Yeah, people might start off as legit, but then they are offered money or status, yeah. Or just threatened with like bank account closures, PayPal closures, things like that. That's the scary thing as well. That's a really scary thing that's emerged in the past few years, is the closure of people's bank accounts, PayPal, etc. That shit is scary. That shit is insane. Yes, there's loads on my feed, bro. That yeah, Lee. Like I'm sure that I never sub to these channels. Rumble seems like a cool alternative. It's got a decent following too. I'm not sure how long for, but it's good. Daily Motion is all but dead. Yeah, remember when YouTube and Daily Motion, were even. Yeah, were even up. Yeah, Daily Motion is dead. The only one good thing about Daily Motion is, as for a boxing fan, is very often they'll upload the fight the next day. Somebody on Daily Motion will upload a fight the next day, like a big-ish fight. They'll upload it. That's one good thing about Daily Motion. You can find fights there quite easily. Usually people upload to Daily Motion when it comes to fights. So that's one good thing about Daily Motion. That's the only reason I'll ever use it. The fact that normies watch those mainstream channels and don't look for an alternative is inconceivable to me. Why would anybody want to support big tech and MSM rather than good content? Yeah. And the thing is, though, Nordic, you'll see these channels like CNN and Fox and Sky, and you'll see these channels. They'll have big sub counts, but look at the videos. Their videos don't really get that many views for the most part. Occasionally they will on a massive story, but they don't really get many views. They don't really get many views, but yet they are at the front of YouTube. They are at the front of YouTube. So many of their videos, 10K, 12K, 15K views, are always suggested or recommended. That's not an organic algorithm at all. That's manufactured, as we know. another thing as well with YouTube, that's the reason why they got rid of the like and dislike bar, because they didn't want to. They didn't want to show. They didn't want people to see how discontented others are in regards to certain things. This came in at the time of COVID, and at the start of COVID, when the like bar was there, you saw these press releases in regards to COVID. They were dislike bombed, which shows people that they're not alone in thinking this is nonsense. But now the dislike bar isn't there, people are going to feel alone because they can't get a grip. They can't get a grasp on what others feel about these situations. That's all the removal of dislikes. That's what that was all about, in my opinion. Just another avenue to protect mainstream media and to more effectively push certain narratives. That's really all it was about. To stop you realizing that others feel the same as you and others are concerned. That's what the removal of the dislike bar was about. Simple as that. People actually believe it was to protect creators' feelings, to protect smaller creators from being dislike bombed. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. And it also it disincentivizes people to actually hit the like bar as well. That's another thing I've noticed. Yeah, same. Me too. Yeah, Daily Motion has a lot of fights, and they are less likely to get taken down right away. Yeah, I know, bro. It's crazy. DAZN fucking up. Yeah, Channel 4's another one. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. Is to minimize the discontent. That's all it's really for. Simple as that. Mate, I wouldn't be shocked if one day they remove comments. Or at least likes on comments. That wouldn't shock me at all. Has piracy killed pay-per-view? Fire sticks and countless apps and websites, lives on Twitter and YouTube, Facebook, Discord groups, streaming live fights, or could you just get online live updates? Or you could just get online live updates and watch highlights. Yeah, that's definitely affected pay-per-view sales. Definitely, no doubt about it. Like, the technology now is so easy to find live streams and whatnot. It's so easy. Yeah. And the thing is, though, as creators, we can still see the dislikes. We can still see them. But yeah, that's all that's for. That's all that's for. You can download, if you're using Google Chrome, you can download a plugin that allows you to see likes and dislikes. You can download it. It's not always accurate, but it gives you an idea of like where a video's at in regards to likes and dislikes. Yeah, Canelo Ryder, that's a shit fight. No matter who, how people try to paint it, it's a crap fight. We all know how that's going to go down. I'm not interested. Does anybody remember when the Zone Boxing Show turned off their comments on the interview with Eddie Hearn and Conor Benn? Yep. That's another thing. If I took over YouTube tomorrow, that's one thing I would do. Obviously, reinstate the dislike bar. I would not enable the option to turn off comments. If you upload on YouTube, you should be able to take comments, as far as I'm concerned. Those are things immediately in which I would enforce. It frustrates me so much, certain videos, you want to see the comments, but because maybe it's a damage control video, the comments are turned off, that winds me up like beyond belief. That winds me up. Like if you turn the comments off in your video, that's an admission of like, it's just cowardice. I vaguely remember that video. What was it about, Nordic? Did it get big views? He'll lay down. John Ryder won't do much there. He won't do much. Yeah, the World Economic Forum turned their comments off on stuff. Yeah, exactly. We all know why. I don't pay for anything now, bro. Yemi, I don't pay for anything. As of right now, I'm paying for nothing. If I alone nothing can be happy, then I'll steal your content and be happy. Fuck you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen, Albanian boxer. It's not going to happen. But yeah, boxing in itself is a joke. I mean, the hilarious one is I've seen so many creators parrot this narrative. If you don't pay for boxing, then you can't complain. And they'll use language like that. You can't complain. Stop me. I'll continue to fucking complain. Stop me. What's that? What's the MMA guru done? I know who he is. I actually know who that guy is. What's he done? It was about the BBC Jesse Nelson documentary, trying to guilt trip the public into giving up. Oh yeah, online privacy. I got thousands upon thousands of views and many comments. It was funny. I do remember. Yeah. Wasn't she advocating for like social media users to actually upload their ID and things of that nature? So the powers that be could know who's behind what account. Is that what she was asking for? That's another reason why I turned off Jordan Peterson. I kind of got bad vibes from him as well. He advocated for a similar thing. I can imagine, Nordic. I bet you were sitting there laughing. Okay, so he basically raged at the Peter-Yan fight, and he said that he hopes that Putin nukes Georgia. Okay, it's a joke, isn't it? It's a bad joke, but it's a joke. People need to get over themselves. Peter-Yan got dominated. It is what it is. Yeah, she wanted to remove online privacy and free speech. Jordan Peterson wanted that also. The thing about Jordan Peterson, listen, Jordan Peterson is one of those guys in which I wouldn't discount certain things that he says due to a couple of red flags, serious red flags. I can still take what he says of value and apply it or think about it, but the red flags to me just mean he's not genuine. But I can still take something from somebody who I don't like. There are things I will still like agree with them on, and things that could be valuable to me. So I'll take those things and use them for myself and disregard the rest, kind of thing. That's how I see Jordan Peterson. The whole him advocating for, you know, having to upload ID to use social media, and basically segregate those who upload ID and those who don't. So on one half of social media, you'll get people who don't upload ID, and on the other half you'll get people who upload ID. I'm not for that. Like, I'm surprised Jordan Peterson would come out with such a thing. Initially, when COVID happened, I know he went back on this, but just take the damn vax. And that really summarizes my main problem with Jordan Peterson. As smart as he is, as intellectual as he is, he's far too emotional. When I see a grown ass man cry and snivel on the camera, God knows how many times, I'm going to take you a little less seriously. It's just that simple. Every other podcast he's on, he ends up crying and sniveling. I mean, he can barely hold it together. So, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's totally normal, but like foreign countries implementing like banning of certain social media websites, that's when it becomes tyranny. It's crazy, bro, that people would want that. It's crazy. Just because a few people called her fat. Yeah, what an insecure dictator. Exactly. Yeah, we can't do dark humor now. Yeah. I don't dislike John Ryder. I think John Ryder, like Lee said, I think John Ryder is underrated. I think he's a good fighter, but I just don't trust him going into that Canelo fight. I think he'll lay down. Personally, I think he'll lay down. We'll see. We'll see on May the 7th. I may be wrong. Maybe he goes there and actually gives it a go. I can't see it though, personally. Yeah, when he cried about Olivia Wilde making him the villain of her crappy movie, and he cried. If I were him, I'd have pointed out how the movie bombed hard, yeah, and laughed. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, Benavidez versus Plant is very interesting. I'm really invested in that fight. Psychologically as well, I'm interested in both guys' approach to this fight. Benavidez, for me, speaking of over emotional behavior, David Benavidez to me has allowed Caleb Plant to get under his skin a little too much. I think the beef between those two is real. When it comes to boxing, I think most of this is contrived to a large degree, but I get a sense that the beef between those two is relatively genuine. And Benavidez just looks like he's in his feelings. And against a sharpshooter like Caleb Plant, Benavidez, that could result in Benavidez being too over. He could overexert himself in that fight and get countered and get pieced up. He needs to hold that together on fight night. Benavidez's emotional outbursts and his disdain towards Caleb Plant, I think, is, he needs to keep that in check for a start. But Caleb Plant's mindset also intrigues me a lot as well. I sense that Caleb Plant is. I get the sense that Caleb Plant is extremely uncomfortable in his own skin. And he strikes me as somebody who isn't as confident as he should be, considering where he comes from, how far he's got. He should be a lot more confident than he is. He acts confident. He says the right things to a certain degree, but there are certain tells with Caleb Plant that gives it away that he's not the confident guy in which he makes out to be. His constant need for approval and validation to me is a little bit questionable. You saw that in the Canelo fight. Let's say you felt that was a real fight. Halfway through the fight, oh, I'm pretty good, right? I'm pretty good, right? What kind of thing is that to say during a prize fight? I'm pretty good, right? And you see him on Twitter, on social media, always kind of bigging himself up. Oh, I made it from here. I made it from here. This, that, and the other. It's always like he's seeking approval. That's how Caleb Plant comes across. I'm not sure he's convinced that he should be where he is. I think he's trying to hype himself up to be something that he wants to be, as in like this tough guy, this stoic guy, hard man. But I don't think he's convinced of that deep down. And I think he knows that could be tested against David Benavidez. Benavidez isn't the greatest boxer, but he's big, he's strong, he throws a lot of punches, he hits relatively hard, and he can drag you into a horrible sort of fight given his style. And that side of Caleb Plant, that toughness, that grit, that never say die attitude could really be tested in this fight. And I think Caleb knows that. I think Caleb's got the spooks a little bit. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I think Caleb's got the spooks going into this fight. Caleb's always struck me as somebody who isn't very confident. He's not as confident as he portrays. And again, the constant need for he's always seeking validation. And again, he should feel he should be at this point in his life. He should be content. He should be proud as to where he's made it from. But there's that chip on his shoulder that sometimes is a good thing, but I don't know. There's something about Caleb that doesn't sell me. Yeah, Peterson gives advice on how to be a strong man, but is always a sniveling mess. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't that way when he cried a couple of times when he first come on the scene, but like it was kind of it was only in result of like it was rare. It wasn't like every other interview with him. Like sometimes he'd talk about how like people have come up to him and said how he's changed their lives, and he would get emotional. And I think that's understandable. You know, having that effect on somebody, I'm sure is going to make you feel a certain way. But you know, since he went into that, since he got addicted to benzos, he went into that rehab thing, which was extremely strange in Russia. He's come back and it's like he's unhinged now. It's like he's unhinged. He's not the person he was before that episode. He's not. Yeah, Sneako's a fucking weirdo, that guy. Albanian boxer. I know who that guy is, and he's a fucking weirdo. Absolute cuck, that guy. Imagine if Ryder actually does win. Benavidez versus Plant or Ryan versus Tank. Ooh, I'm honestly I'm quite big on both fights. Believe it or not. I'm quite big on both fights. What? Probably Ryan versus Tank. That would be hilarious though, Nordic. Yeah, Davis definitely knows that Ryan Garcia brings a lot to the table. Size, reach, power, speed. You know, I know Ryan Garcia's raw and technically unrefined in certain areas, but he brings a lot of physical attributes to the table. So why not try to drain him physically? Of course, Davis is worried. Of course, he's worried, and as are the people around him. They know Ryan Garcia is a dangerous fight. They know that's a very dangerous fight. Because let's say, for example, if Ryan Garcia manages to tag up Tank Davis as much as Leo Santa Cruz did, do we know that Tank can take those shots? Tank's never really fought punchers. Oh yeah, there you go, Lee. There you go. What annoyed me with Plant is that he was getting advice from James Toney, an absolute legend, and I kid you not, He takes out his phone and starts scrolling whilst Tony is talking, so ignorant. Well, that's just the sign of the times, I think. I think that's just the sign of the times. Who knows? Maybe he was trying to get a translator app to decipher what Tony was saying. But yeah, I know what you're saying, Mike. I saw that video as well. Yeah, facts, Nordic. Has the establishment mentality emotionally broke him? He seems disturbed and might be a puppet. He said and done a few very questionable things. Yeah. I would have liked to have. I would like to know what happened in, when he was on the benzos and apparently he was at death's door and he did this rehab thing in Russia. I would really not. I would really like to know what that was about. I would really like to know what that was about. The whole thing is strange. I do wonder. Again, when he came on the scene, he seemed incredibly genuine. And then he was being attacked left, right, and center. A lot of pressure on his shoulders because he kind of blew up. He blew up quickly, and then he was getting a lot of attacks, despite the amount of support he had. I do wonder whether with Jordan Peterson, it was just a case of like the pressure become insurmountable. Maybe it was just that. Maybe it was just that. Big up to G-Man. Salute, man. Big up to yourself. The bookies will win in Ryan versus Davis. A draw wouldn't surprise me. Has Canelo ever fought a style like Ryder, a short, strong southpaw with a good engine and inside skills? Canelo's last several opponents were long-range boxers. Ryder will maul, slug, and bring it. No, he hasn't fought a guy like Ryder for a while. No, he's not. Maybe Ryder could surprise us. I hope he does. Listen, all I hope for, because even if he actually tries, if he goes there and tries, he still loses, in my opinion. As questionable as Canelo is, he'll beat John Ryder, even if John Ryder comes to fight. All I want really for that fight is to have the impression that it was like a legit fight. That's all I want. That's all I want. You think Peterson was poisoned? Damn. Maybe it was MK Ultra or something similar. He also works for the Daily Wire. They are scum. I know nothing about the Daily Wire, to be honest with you. I know Ben Shapiro owns them, but Jordan's wife and daughter went through very rough times too. He lost his job. The machine is too powerful for one man to stand up to. Yeah, facts. Again, I know nothing about his daughter. But can we agree? But can we all agree with Red Pill is that there is at least a matrix out there? It's not really groundbreaking. It's not really a groundbreaking view. The whole matrix thing. Everyone has always speculated that there is powers that are higher than the official governments in place. We've always said that. The whole matrix thing is just a new term for it. There's new terms for this every so often. Illuminati, deep state. Now it's the matrix. We've always said such individuals exist who are pulling the strings from way above. Now, we was just talking about him in general, about not taking, really, I think what the gist of the conversation, in summary, was that people should not idolize these figures on social media, these self-help gurus, red pill people. There's far too much idolization of these individuals when more than likely they are there for a certain reason. Maybe they are direct shills, or they are just propped up by the establishment to suit whatever purpose. Um, they say truths, of course, but take what they say as well with a grain of salt and analyze each and every claim. Use what is applicable and disregard the rest. So with Jordan Peterson, for example, like you say, he once pushed the vaccine. He's advocated for social media users to upload ID, to use social media sites, things like that, things that are very questionable. Okay, people are cooming over Jordan Peterson's daughter. It's sad. I don't even know who she is, to be honest with you. Yeah, Khan actually did try to fight. To be fair, Amir Khan tried to fight. Amir Khan tried to fight, but got fucking cleaned out. There you go. There you go, Nordic. Great point. Great point. Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? Speaking of Andrew Tate, like, did anybody see that video that was circulating on social media? Nobody had really picked up on it before. But basically, it was Andrew Tate saying he'd rather fuck a tranny than a 1 out of 10 female. That's what he said. He justified it by like using some really weird kind of scenario, but that's what he said. And all of a sudden, people are saying, "Oh, hang on, that's a bit off key." Well, the contradictions were always there with this guy. They were always there, like I was saying earlier. I've seen the first Matrix. I've never seen the other ones. I don't think I have anyway. I don't think I have. First one was all right, but it wasn't. I never thought it was this movie, like this remarkable piece of like cinema or anything like that. It was all right. Yeah. Listen, at least Amir Khan tried to fight. I'll give Amir Khan that credit. I'll give Amir Khan that credit. That's one thing about Amir Khan, I'll always admit. He got a couple of like dodgy stoppages in his career, but in regards to like the competitive nature of those fights, all of Amir Khan's fights looked very real. That's one thing I'll give Amir Khan. That's one thing I'll give Amir Khan. Like, I think all of his fights were real. Or the vast majority. The vast majority. Yeah, Andrew Tate's always been a weirdo. I'll DM me on Twitter. I'll try and find it, bro. I find it. Any Fury or AJ fight staged? Yeah, more than likely. More than likely. More than likely. The Dillian White thing looked weird in retrospect. The Dillian White fight looked weird. One of the weird things about boxing is, when we say certain fights look suspect or certain fights look fake, it's always crazy to me to see the pushback in regards to those comments. Like, I forgot the last fight that I said looked fake. What was the last one? I forget now these days. But if you say that, you get called like a conspiracy theorist, a weirdo, this, that, and the other. But like the boxing community, like a lot of people I've noticed, they don't really follow mainstream opinions in regards to politics. I don't get why it's so hard for these people to maybe admit that there are fixed fights in boxing. It's weird to me. Like they have like very similar opinions in regards to the way the world is run to a certain degree, but when it comes to fixed fights in boxing, that's where they draw the line. Apparently every single fight in boxing's real, there's no corruption, there's no dives, nothing like that happens. Nothing to see here. That's weird to me. That's bizarre. Yeah, it's kind of weird how grown people idolize these agendas, ideologies, and other people. What the social media echo chamber don't realize is that the real world and everyday people don't give a fuck. Facts, PSK, facts. Oh, does Hatman have a Rumble channel as well? Random question. Did my earlier comment about pronouns get deleted? Does anybody know? I've not seen it, bro, on my end. I've not seen it on my end, bro. Retype it. I've not seen it. Oh, I've not seen it. What's the channel called on Rumble, G-Man? I'll look at it. I'll give it a look. I've backed my other channel up on Rumble. I need to start pushing it though. Yeah, no, I don't think it's that comments get. I think it's that like there's a filter on YouTube and it will automatically filter certain comments. I think that's what it is. Probably Cyrus Patterson. Chris Jenkins these days is like journeyman status. You know. He's journeyman status these days. Do you know what? I've not had the heating on all day and it's fucking warm, which is good. I think he just got old as well, boxing brains. I think he just got old in regards to Makabu. Like it's not like Makabu was like some defensive fighter who didn't take a lot of punishment. Makabu took a lot of licks in his career, and I think it just got to him, to be honest. Plus, he's probably older than he says he is. I think there's that as well. What's up, Reese? What's up, Reese? How you doing, bro? Ugas versus Barrios, ordered by the WBC. Yeah, it's a decent undercard fight, but yeah, not an interim title fight. Fuck that. Semi-final eliminator. That's what it should be. Owning a bar would be pretty sick. Owning a bar would be pretty sick. Probably Conor Benn. Conor Benn, I would say. Conor Benn. Apparently, Conor Benn versus Manny Pacquiao might happen. Yeah, Cody Crowley was supposed to get some sort of eliminator, wasn't he? Well, that might have been with the IBF. No, it was WBC, wasn't it? He's fighting soon, Cody Crowley, I think. Abel Ramos. I think that's on the Benavidez card. That's a good fight. Abel Ramos comes to fight. He's a puncher. That's a good fight. Abel Ramos gave what's his face a real hard fight. He gave Ugas a hard fight. I agree. I can see that. I would not be shocked if we see Kell Brook versus Conor Benn. Are they actually cousins, or are you telling bullshit? I'd rather see Brook versus Benn rather than Pacquiao Benn. Pacquiao needs to stay retired. He's done. It'll be a shame to see Manny back. It'll be a shame. Hatman's a bit crazy. He thinks that that cut on Beterbiev's head that Brown did it on purpose when he was just trying to get his head safe. I thought Brown headbutted him on purpose, to be honest. I agree. I felt Brown did that on purpose. I can't see it. I think Usman's going to wrestle him, win on points. Ben is looking for Brook, Khan, and Pacquiao. This is so shameless. Yeah, it is so shameless. You almost admire how shameless it is. It's so shameless that, like, I don't know. And like G-Man said, Brown does have a history of that sort of thing. He does. I think he did it in the Pascal fight, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it it might have been the Campillo fight, I forget. Yeah, exactly. Not the first time he did it, yeah. It just made but there you go, the Badu Jack fight, obviously. Yeah, Badu Jack. I think he might have done it in the Pascal fight as well. Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't even know. I'd actually watch Ben versus Canelo. We'd become a Canelo fan that night. We'd be a Canelo fan that night. That'd be hilarious. Prince Nazim or Prime Sonny Edwards. He's another guy that irks me, Sonny Edwards. Another guy who irks me. Hang on 1 second. Shit, where were we? Yeah, Canelo eats Conor Benn in 3 rounds, yeah. He eats Conor Benn like a fucking clenbuterol-infested taco. Sonny 8 Mile Edwards, yep. Sonny from the block. He's such a clown, Sonny Edwards. I don't like that guy at all. He's a decent boxer, but not a big fan. I'm not a big fan, to be honest with you. Canelo versus Badou Jack in Dubai for the cruiserweight title. Wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. Because listen, I like Badou Jack. I've always said that on this channel. But Badou Jack is the weakest cruiserweight champion. Good performance against Makabu. I'm glad he got that win, but he is the weakest champion at cruiser. Okole beats him. Jay Opataya beats him. And Goulamarian beats him, in my opinion. What's his name? Sonny Edwards. He changes his accent every 5 minutes. 1 minute it's like a London roadman accent. Then he talks like a Mancunian. Then he talks like a Brummie. Madness. Eggs from Mexico versus eggs from fucking. Where was Conor Benn training? Was he training on the Isle of Wight or something? Where was he training for the Eubank fight? I'm sure he wasn't training in England, mainland England. Was it Jersey? Where was he training? But regardless, are your hometowns the Isle of Wight? That's a nice place to live. Yeah, eggs from the Isle of Wight versus tacos from Mexico. Or better yet, just have eggs from have the Isle of Wight eggs, and put them in your Mexican tacos. Best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. Sorry. If Jack comes to fight, then yeah, he could easily outbox Canelo. One thing about Badou Jack is interesting, when he got knocked out early in his career against Derek Edwards, that was the one and only time he's shown a chin vulnerability. He was never rocked before then or after. It just seemed like a anomaly of that fight. He got knocked out in the first round. He must have been completely cold. But he's even he got caught with some big shots by Makabu. And they never budged him. He took those shots well. He's got a decent chin. Yeah, supplemented with some Neldonium, the real-life juggernaut. Yeah, I know Luton. Very well. Have 5 dozen eggs each morning like Gaston, then you'll be a beast. Yeah, whoever fights Ben next needs to walk out to some egg-related music. Eggman theme from Sonic. Yeah, you gotta troll him. You gotta troll him. Yeah, I heard about that a while ago, Tintin. I heard about that a while ago. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Yeah, Jack is a skilled boxer, good power, looks strong at cruiserweight. A fired up Jack might beat Canelo. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to see that though, wouldn't it? Like Canelo takes that fight because he thinks it's going to be easy, and then he completely gets outboxed. That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be a hilarious tune to come out to if you're fighting Conor Ben. we gotta have Conor Ben versus Sam Eggington. One omelette around the waist of one man. You got what? That'd be sick. Conor Ben versus Sam Eggington. You have to crack eggs to make an omelette. I actually never played Sonic as a kid. I was a PlayStation kid. I had the PS1 when I was young. PS1, then PS2, then Xbox 360. Hang on. Yeah, Akole is just way too big and young with a bad style. Even Jack will be a tough fight. Canelo's a former 154 guy. Yeah, not sure what you mean. Did you listen to her? Who's her? I never grew up with Sonic either. I played some games in the Mega Collection. Some of the classics, they were awesome. I don't think that fight was a robbery, to be honest. I felt that fight was close, could have gone either way. Honestly, the knockdown probably gave it to Jack. I don't think that fight was a robbery, personally. It's been a while since I've seen it. In fact, I don't. In fact, I don't think I've seen it since the time. But watching it then, I didn't think it was a robbery, personally. I didn't think it was a robbery. I'd need to watch it again. I don't really remember much about that fight at all, really. Actually, tell you the truth, I remember the knockdown because it wasn't like Groves was super hurt, was it? Kind of got clipped around the side of the head, if I recall correctly. Sonic Generations from 2011 is a masterpiece too. Combined a lot of these Sonic concepts and acted as a homage to the series. Great game. Yeah, I've never played Sonic. Hearn has AJ Canelo and Katie Taylor in his boxing Mount Rushmore. Oh god. Oh god. He's a promoter. He's doing what he does. Is what it is. I don't think even Eddie believes that though. I don't think even Eddie believes that. To be honest with you, Eddie will say what he has to say. Eddie will say what he has to say. That's hilarious. Exactly, yeah. At one point in time, Canelo should have been banned for life, according to Eddie Hearn. And then all of a sudden, he's his best buddy. What weight class? Tintin, what weight class? Because I think that you have to specify what weight class. Honestly, at 135, I might go Duran. Duran was more complete. Like Pacquiao, was Pacquiao complete by the time he went to 135? I think 135, I would favor Duran. Above 135, I'd favor Pacquiao. I think at lightweight, I go Duran personally. I think at lightweight, I go Duran. It's a tough one, though. That'd be a hell of a fight. That'd be a hell of a fight. Probably one of the best fantasy fights you could make. Because even though it is a fantasy fight, you know that fight would be lit. That'd be an amazing fight. Honestly, I can't see what he does to win that fight. Unless Bivol lays down, I can't see what Canelo does. Seriously. Is he going to outwork Bivol? No. Is he going to outbox Bivol? No. Either Bivol lays down, or he lands a punch from the gods, as AJ would say. Oh yeah, I could name a whole host of guys. I could name a whole host of guys at cruiserweight who in my opinion, Johnny Nelson wouldn't beat. Ignoring Usyk. He wouldn't beat David Haye, in my opinion. Steve Cunningham, Thomas Adamek, Denis Lebedev, Juan Pablo Hernandez, to name a few. Gassiev, Briadis. I don't think he beats Akole. I can keep going. Wlodarczyk, I don't think he beats him. Honestly, there's not many recent cruiserweight champions who I think Johnny Nelson could beat. Would he beat Bellew? Ooh. Would he beat Bellew? Would he beat Bellew? No, I don't think he would. I don't think he would. Seriously. I don't think he would. He could. I mean, he could, but I don't think he would. Do you think boxing fans or hardcore fans are too harsh on A-side superstars like Joshua and Canelo? They have better resumes than their peers and bring mainstream media into the sport. No, I don't think so. I don't think hardcore fans are too critical, particularly in regards to Canelo. Yeah, Dorticos, another one who would KO Johnny Nelson. Tabiso Machunu, yeah, that would be a hard fight. Yeah, that'd be a hard fight, G-Man. I agree. But no, I don't. Maybe in regards to Joshua, to a certain degree, I think people may be a little too harsh. Not in regards to Canelo, in my opinion. No, because with hardcore fans and Joshua, it's like they act like the guy is Audley Harrison. He's clearly not. Like, oh, he's a bum. He was always a bum. He's not a bum. Anthony Joshua is a really good heavyweight who was overhyped by a large contingent of fans. But he's still a good heavyweight. He was a good heavyweight champion, in my opinion. Could he beat Fury, in my opinion? Probably not. No, I would say no. Could he beat Alexander Usyk? Obviously not. Could he beat a prime Vladimir or Vitali? No, in my opinion. Would he beat Wilder? Maybe. He's a rung below, or he's a couple of levels below the great heavyweight champions in regards to skill and things of that nature. Do I think he beats the likes of, I don't know, a Chris Bird? Yeah, I do. Lamont Brewster? Yeah. Pinkland Thomas? Yeah. Joshua's one of those guys who like it's either one extreme or the other. It's either he's a complete bum or like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And he's this like amazing guy who is like fucking this, that, and the other. Yeah, Nelson was a good survivor. Yeah, he would run and hold and spoil. Yeah, try and watch his fight with Carlos de Leon. Like the Johnny Nelson myth was perpetrated by Sky. Nobody was talking about Johnny Nelson like that until he spent years on Sky as a pundit. Nobody was talking about Johnny Nelson. Nobody was talking about Johnny Nelson like that. Look at the dude's resume. Look at who he beat. He beat nobody pretty much. Best wins is what Carl Thompson made. Best win is Carl Thompson. That was a gift like stoppage, bullshit stoppage. Who else did he beat aside from Carl Thompson? Which in itself was controversial. Who else did he beat? Yeah, it's a shit fight. It's a shit fight. But yeah, the whole AJ thing, I'm just fucking bored of. I'm just bored of like people talking about AJ all the time. I'm not particularly interested either way. Guillermo Jones' draw is probably his best result. You could argue that. You could argue that. And that fight apparently was a robbery. I'm only going by what others say. I'm not going to go and watch it. Can't be asked. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to watch this penalty shootout between Arsenal and Lisbon. Turdo Ramirez. But yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Have a good weekend, guys. Peace out.